Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your baby girl Lizzie. What's up guys? What's good? So guys, in today's video, I will be sharing with you guys one topic that I've always wanted to talk about in the longest. I just felt like I'm not ready to talk about it yet because it's a very huge part of my life. And it's something that I feel like we don't really talk about that much in this part of the world. It's so important for us to really have this conversation some more. We don't really pay attention to these things. We just feel like, yeah, whatever, like, today's topic is going to be about daddy's issues. Okay, a lot of girls in the world do not even know they have these issues, and that's why they find themselves struggling in relationships, they find themselves struggling in marriages. Okay, it's because they have these issues and they've not been able to identify it. So it's a topic that I really would want other people to come in and share their own views and experiences with us, which I'm going to do. So this video is not just going to be just this one. I'm going to have like a part 1 and part 2, part 3. Parents, you need to watch this video. Okay, you need to watch this video to the end. It's like an eye-opener for you guys, trust me. Okay, so if this is the kind of video you'd like to see, you know the drill already. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and give this video a huge thumbs up. So daddy's issue is a type of father-daughter relationship that negatively impacts a woman's life, especially with the way she relates with men in a romantic relationship. Okay, so yeah, a lot of people do not even know they have these issues. They are having relationship issues. They don't know that this is what they are dealing with. Some people are in relationships and they're just busy blaming the man for one thing or the other, but they don't know that the problem they have is actually with themselves and not even with the man. I'll be sharing with you guys some of the characteristics to know a person that has daddy issues. And number one is like the biggest. They are always drawn to older men. Yes, they are drawn to older men because they feel like they need to fill in that space they had as a child. They feel like they need a man to be a father figure to them. Okay, some people date older men because of financial stability. Some people date older men because they want that fatherly figure in their life. Okay, so many people go for different reasons. It's all the same thing. You have daddy issues. I always will say that I want to date somebody that's older because I want to learn from this person, and which is not actually a bad thing. It's just that you don't know you have daddy issues. Not a man that will treat them literally like his daughter. That's what. So that's enough to tell you that you have daddy issues. It's because you didn't have that growing up, so you want that in your man. Okay, I have been there. So quick story. At the time when I lost my dad, right? I was very young. I think I was about 12, 13 years old. I was so young, okay? And I'm from a family of 5. I'm the first child. And in this part of the world, as a first child, you are expected to do so much. I already have this kind of mindset that as a first child, you have to do all of these things. You have to take care of your siblings. You have to, support your mom financially. You have to just grow up real quick. And honestly, I did. I grew up real quick, okay? I got a job at a very young age. So guys, I just took the light, but I'm working with my rechargeable light, so that's fine. Nigeria, our country. So at the time I lost my dad, I was about 12, 13 years old. I got a job at a very, very young age just because I wanted to assist my mom. I just felt like I needed to do something for her. At the time, I wasn't even thinking of anything. I just wanted to assist my mom. So I got a job and I was working. So they were not really paying me so much, but I could still squeeze out something to send to her, right? It's a kind of job that they don't pay salary, they pay based on commission. Is what you sell that they calculate at the end of the month and pay you. So yeah, it was really very, very difficult because this is it's a waitress job, and it's like in an open space, in an open bar where you have like so many waitresses and waiters. So the majority of the girls that sells more are the ones that are willing to play ball with customers, right? And I was not ready to live that kind of life. I was too young and I didn't understand these things. And of course, I wasn't even raised that way, right? So it was difficult for me to make so much sales, there. So I had to, at some point, the manager of the place started chasing me and I had to leave the place, right? So I started dancing. I started taking dancing really seriously. So I was now dancing. I had this crew. We go to different, we had like different shows we go for and stuff like that. So I met this dancer, quite tall, cool guy, and he was my vibe, right? And he was way older. So this guy was like the first guy I ever dated, the first guy I was ever intimate with. I had like guys in my life then, but I was never serious with any of them. They would just come, I'd be playing them, because I feel like you guys are kids. I don't want you at that age. Like you're too small. Yeah. So when he came along, I was like, yeah, this is the perfect person. He was way older. I think he was older than me with like 7, 8 years. So it was way, way older than me. So we started dating and I got too clingy, like too clingy. I was literally living with him, literally, right? Yeah, I told my mom that I was working and she didn't know that I was still actually staying with a guy. She didn't know I was staying with a guy, but I was working. I had the option of actually sleeping at work or going home. So instead of the days I don't want to sleep at work, I just go to his place. So I don't tell my mom that I'll just tell my mom that I'm staying there, right? So that's what I would always do then. And I was with this guy. I was too clingy. I was just too needy. Like I was always in his face. At some point, his elder sister started complaining that like, why is she always here? Like she don't get family. This is that she doesn't have a family that worries about her and stuff. Like she'll be in a guy's place for months, for weeks, and nobody's calling or nobody's, checking for her because I was so young and they could tell that I was a very, very young chap. Like, what's up? So I was still with this guy, and the reason why I was so with him like that was because I felt like he was like that father figure I never had. Do you understand? Like he was giving me everything I want, not like every single thing, but he was giving me like the basic necessities that I need. Like, what do I need then at that young age? You give me good food to eat, clothes, make my hair, things like that. Those things are like things you need at that teenage age, right? So, and he was giving me all of these things and he was giving me so much attention and all of that. And I felt like, yes, this is the guy. And in my head, we are married. Do you get? In my head, we're married. In my head, this is the guy. And he was the one that the first guy I ever got intimate with. At some point, I got pregnant. And at this time, I was like 17. Yeah, 17-ish. Yeah, I was 17. And I got pregnant. I didn't tell my mom about it until it was almost close for me to give birth. And yeah, at this time when I was pregnant, I started noticing a whole lot of things about him. I can't get married to somebody just because I am pregnant for him and all that. But yeah, I was still going. In my head, I was like, okay, maybe it's just all in my head. I still feel like, okay, we'll get married. And when I had a child, it just dawned on me that no, this is not what I want. Like, this is not what I want. And yeah, it just didn't work. And we went our separate ways. It wasn't like he didn't want to get married to me. He wanted to get married to me, but we were both immature at the time. So many things just didn't work out. So we just went our separate ways. Yeah. After having my child, my mom had to take me from his place. I started staying with my mom. Then I started realizing a whole lot of things. I started finding myself. I started, I feel like the whole childbirth thing kind of opened my eyes more to, realizing that, that what I was doing with this guy was not love. It wasn't love at all. It was me having father issues. Like I started noticing I had that at that young age. You see, the funny thing is that when I was at that age, I knew so much. Like even my mom would tell me that you were so young, but you have an old soul. Like I knew so many things that nobody sat me down to tell me. I just started realizing a lot of things by myself. And I'm so thankful to God that I realized these things, early enough. So one of the things to know that you have father issues is that you're always drawn to mature men. That is just it. Another characteristics to know that you have that issues is they always crave for sex. Like they always want sex. They're always so needy when it comes to sex. And I think I had that issue as well when I was with my ex. You just always want that. And thankfully, I didn't really do this experiment to many people. I am somebody that when I'm in a relationship, I just stay in a relationship. It's not because I'm trying to paint myself in a good light or anything. So they find themselves always wanting sex a lot because they feel like that's love. Okay. So, sometimes if you're with a guy that don't understand, the guy will just probably think that, what's up with this girl? Like, what's up? Okay. But if you're with a guy that also is like you, then the guy might not even notice that you have these issues. You guys will just be vibing like that. But that's an issue. Okay. You always find yourself always wanting sex. Like you always want that. You always want that. So another characteristic to know that you have a daddy issue is that you always find yourself in an abusive relationship. Okay, I didn't experience this one. Okay, so I feel like I said before, all I'm saying now, there are different levels to these things. Okay, so different strokes for different folks, right? So this never happened to me anyways, but I have friends that this has happened to. And I could tell then, even then I was telling them until they eventually realized themselves and they're like, Lizzie, yeah, you told me this. They are drawn to abusive men. like I have this friend that would always say that if a guy doesn't hit her, she doesn't feel like the guy loves her. Okay, this could actually be a childhood trauma she has not healed from. Okay, she finds herself always being attracted to guys that would always hit her. Like we could be out and the guy would be like, "Where are you?" And she's like, out with my friends." And the next thing, boom, which area? Say, "Okay, I'm so area." The guy is there coming to drag and hit her anyhow, like, you know. And I've been with her in like many cases when the guy will be doing this and then she'd be like, "Don't worry, I love him. Lizzie, he loves me. He loves me. That's why he's doing this." I'm like, "He loves you. That's why he's hitting you." I don't understand. How's that love? She says love. If he doesn't love me, he will not be feeling like this. It's because he loves me. He's jealous when I'm out. He thinks I'm doing something. That's why he's doing all that. That is not love. That is not love. She gets, so most of the time they find themselves in an abusive relationship. They find themselves in a relationship where the guy is beating them or the guy is, you know, disrespecting them by, you know, cheating on them with different women, and they still stay there. To them, they feel like, okay, this guy has so many girlfriends, but it's me he loves. That's the mindset they have. They feel like, okay, and that's what the guys would usually sell to them. The guy will tell them that, I know you know I have so many women, but you're the one I choose, you're the one that I prefer, you are the one I love. So it makes you work extra hard, you know, to do these nice things, like do nice things for him. The guy can even come back and tell you that, "Oh, this girl did this thing to me, oh, she did this, she did that, I don't like it, you know, we even quarreled and stuff." He's telling you those things so that you feel like, okay, so this is what this other girl did, I will not do it too, you know, and you start being overly nice to him. And when you're doing these things, you are losing yourself. You're just losing yourself to this guy. Like, this guy owns you practically, you know, and he will do with you whatever he wants to do with you. So you might be going through these things and you think it's normal. It's normal. No, check well, you are dealing with daddy issues. That's it. So daddy issues doesn't just happen to only the females, it also happens to the male. It could be that you didn't have so much love, care, and all of that growing up from your mom. There was no much care, there was no much love. Because you lacked that growing up as a child, when you're finally an adult, you tend to get too needy as well and clingy. You're too quick to fall in love, you're too clingy, you just want to always be around the girl, you don't want to give her space to breathe, you get very insecure. Yes, as a guy, if you do all of these things, you also have daddy issues. Okay, you're too, you know, too protective. Who is this person? Who is that? Who just called you? What message was that? This, that, you know, you're just, who called? What's the person saying? Who's the person to you? Those things like that. If you're a guy and you do these things, you have that issues and you need to work on it or speak to a professional, which we'll be getting to shortly. You really, really need to seek help, because if yours has gotten to that point of you getting angry and heating, then it has gotten to a point where you can't even control it anymore. That means you need urgent help. A bonus tip is that you have low self-esteem. Yeah, you have low self-esteem. You just feel like you're not enough. You feel like you're not beautiful enough. You feel like you're not worth it. You always talk down on yourself. You don't have confidence. You don't believe in yourself. All of these things shows that you have dad issues. So the number one step on how to handle this is to speak to a professional. You need to speak to a professional. I know in this part of the world, we always, you know, talk down on this, you know, meeting a professional for things. They'd be like, "I beg, maybe Nigeria, they wait to be all these ones. I beg, these things are normal things." There's some children that never grew up with their parents. There's some children that were born in motherless baby home. Did they die? Are they not surviving? Are they not alive? You know, all those kind of things. We always like to talk down on these things, like, "I beg, you just want to go waste your money." No, it's not a waste of money. You need to speak to a professional. You need it. You need it. Don't talk down on it. Don't feel it's not necessary. Okay? You need to speak to a professional. The second tip you want to do is to practice self-care. Practice self-care. Take care of yourself. Spend more time with yourself. Develop yourself. Find yourself. And the only way you can do these things is by spending more time with yourself. You need to spend more time with yourself. Understand yourself. Create a relationship with yourself. That's the only way you'll be able to start noticing certain things about yourself. Once you start noticing certain things about yourself, you'll be able to start fixing them. You'll be able to start correcting them. Okay? That's it. So the next tip is identify that you actually have this issue. This is actually supposed to be the first on the list. Once you're able to identify that you have this issue, then it will be easy for you to start seeking for help or looking for ways to help yourself. right? So yeah, you want to identify that you have this issue. And how to do so is by spending time with yourself. The next thing you want to do is to create healthy boundaries, whether in your friendship or your relationship. Create a healthy boundaries. Don't let people take advantage of you. Don't let people talk down on you. Don't allow people do you dirty and feel it's okay. Okay? Set healthy boundaries. Let people know what you can take and what you cannot take. Okay? Let them know that this is your standard. And once they know this is how you are, they treat you as such. But when you let them, when you give people this impression that anything goes for you, you know, you can be toiled with and all of that, they treat you that way. And people actually know when you have low self-esteem. It's with the way you treat yourself. People can tell you have low self-esteem by the way you treat yourself. So if you let people know that I cannot be treated this way, they get it. As a parent, pay attention to your children. Create time for them. I know you need to work, you need to provide for them, but it's important you create time for them, because what is the essence of working if the people you are working for are not getting things right? What's the point? So create time for your kids. Even if you're a parent that works from Mondays to Saturdays and the only time you have time is on Sundays, create something, okay? If it's like a dinner, you guys will all sit down and eat together and just interact, okay? Rub minds. If it's like doing Netflix and chills with the whole family, you sit down, you do that, okay? Just create a you time with your children so you get to know them. Ask them questions. Who are your friends? Where are they from? Do these things with them. It is so important. In this part of the world, I noticed that we don't really pay attention so much with these things. I think now people are beginning to get it right, but back in the days, people don't really care, whatever. They go do their work and they don't even care about their kids. Whether their kids are doing fine or not, they don't really care. They don't ask them questions. Like, they don't even know. There are some things I legit went through as a teenager that my parents did not know about. So it is so very important that you create a relationship with your kids. This way you create a bond, okay? Make them feel comfortable to share things with you. Make them feel comfortable to talk to you at any point in time. Don't make them too scared of you, okay? Don't make them scared of you. They should always feel free to always come to you. Make them feel relaxed. Give them that protection that they need, okay? Be there for them. You need to be there, because that's why you gave birth to them, to be there for them, right? So what's the need to give birth to children that you won't be there for, okay? And it's really not easy for only a woman to take care of a child. Whether you lose your mom or your dad, they are both important. The mother has a role to play in a child's life. The father has a role to play in a child's life. So when my light finally died, guys, so when the dad is not present in that child's life, as a mom, you can't really cover everything. Do you understand? And when the mom is not there in the children's life, as a dad, you can't cover everything. So for a dad and a daughter relationship, a dad needs to be there for his daughter. If you don't want your daughter, your female child, to go through all of these things, you need to be there for your daughter, okay? Tell her constantly that you love her. Tell her constantly that she's beautiful. Tell her constantly that you're there for her. Tell her constantly that you got her, okay? So even when she goes out in the world as a grown woman and a guy is not giving her these things or is giving her, she sees it as normal. Do you understand? She sees it like, okay, yeah, my dad used to tell me that I'm beautiful. My dad used to do all of these things to me. So if a guy is doing it for me, it's normal for a guy to do it to me because I deserve to be treated as such. But when you don't do these things, or you're not there to do these things for her, when she goes out into the world and the guy is just doing one small thing, she just feels like, oh, this guy is the alpha and the omega. This guy is she just feels like, oh, this guy is offering me all of these things. Like, wow, it's new to her because she's not used to it. She's not used to be treated like a princess. She's not used to it. So she's like, it is sweet her, like, do you get? And once a guy knows that you are, head over heels for him because of the things, all these kind of things he's doing for you, some guys take advantage. That's the problem. Like, there's some good guys that would see you and just appreciate you the way you are. And there's some guys that will take advantage of you because they know that some guys can actually identify that you have that issues and they want to take advantage of you. And because you don't even know that you have that issues, they take advantage of you. And that's why some girls are in a messed up relationship. They're in a messed up situation. Like I said before, there's going to be a part 3 and a part 4 of this video. And that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll definitely catch you guys in my next one.